président Obama, comme je l'ai dit ici avant, que c'est pas à lui de développer l'Afrique, c'est nous, les Africains, de développer notre continent. Mais il a déjà lancé un projet qui s'appelle Power Africa. On est déjà partenaire avec Power Africa. Sur ce projet-là, on peut faire des partnerships. Mais encore le développement de l'Afrique, ce sera les Africains eux-mêmes qui vont le faire. Le président Obama, il a été élu par les États-Unis. Son boulot, son job, c'est d'abord les États-Unis. Nous, on a élu des présidents en Afrique qui doivent s'occuper de nous, mais ce n'est pas seulement les présidents, c'est nous, les enfants de l'Afrique, partout où nous sommes, amener nos compétences pour essayer de développer notre continent. Et pour ça, aujourd'hui, on est prêt pour ça. C'est cette génération d'action et d'exécution que vous voyez aujourd'hui.
Let me just quickly piggyback to what the CEO of Orange just talked about when it comes to Africa needing foreign investors to come invest massively in Africa. And I agree with you. Like here in Europe, as I talked about in the beginning, you needed the American money as a German Marshall Fund to come and support Europe to develop. And until today, you got foreigners that's coming here to invest massively. Just walk around the Champs-Élysées. Most of those boutiques and everything there is owned by the Middle East. The Middle Easterns are coming here to invest. Chinese are coming, the United States, everybody. But you're doing something that's very spectacular, which is you made sure the core of your economy is controlled by France. And I don't think you will let that go, because it comes to become serious when you cannot control your economy at all. In Africa today, what I'm saying to you is that, and this is for Africans in the room here, we need everybody to come to invest. We need your money. We need your transfer of knowledge. We need everything you got to give us when it comes to an opportunity to build our continent. But we cannot allow the core of our economies in Africa to be controlled by foreign investment. Then our economy becomes an artificial economy, where the money comes and goes out and cannot help build our schools. So Africans in this room, I'm telling you today that I've traveled the world and I've seen countries that's been built. I have not seen one country that's been built by foreigners or the World Bank or FME. But I've seen countries like Singapore, countries like Malaysia, countries like here in France, after the war, in England, in the United States where I live, that's only been built by the children of those countries. Until we say we Africans take the control of our continent with the help of our partners who are coming in a win-win situation, with the right leaders in place, then we will not develop the continent, and that will not happen. We'll be dreaming. But we can do it if we come ourselves and control the core of our economy, and everyone coming to invest have to abide by the social responsibilities that is put upon under them. For everyone coming to invest in Africa, just like you guys in Europe and in America, when you're transforming your continents, you need outsiders, you need opportunities, you need partners to come and help. We too need supporters. We need partners from Europe, from America, from Asia to come in and support what we're trying to do in the continent. But I just say that we need it in the level where it can be a win-win situation. I don't think it's allowed anymore in Africa, where that time is gone, where you can just come do Africa and do business in Africa in any kind of way. Do business in Africa with no social responsibilities. We're not being able to follow the rules as we do in so many African countries. Those days are gone. It's a new Africa. It's a new generation that understands exactly what it takes to transform our countries and solve the problems that we have. And we need it with you in a win-win situation.
There is some fundamental things that Africa don't have today that unfortunately we're racing to catch up with you. Leapfrogging is good, but there's some steps you cannot leapfrog. You have to go through them. For example, we didn't have home telephones in many of the African homes because we went straight up to cell phones. Today, the United States, in Asia, and recently the United Emirates were able to build the fundamental
infrastructures. And before all of that, you got to be able to feed your people. You got to be able to educate your people. You got to be able to go to the hospital when you're sick and find a doctor there. In many of our cities in Africa, if you go, including my home city, Dakar, if you're sick, you go to a hospital. If you don't have money, you're dead. We have a huge population of young people, 400 million young people in the continent under 30 years old today. No jobs, no training, no future whatsoever. Last year we lost more than 3,000 young people dying on the ocean, trying to go to chase a dream that doesn't exist in Europe. Mm-hmm. Are you following what I'm trying to say here? Our education system is crumbling. Until today, in 2017, majority of young Africans, if you leave the rural areas, are living under the tree to study a day in the schools under the tree. So how can we skip those fundamental things? We don't have a good education system. We don't have a good healthcare system. We cannot feed ourselves. But then we want to build the grass-tails, buildings and highways and trains and talking about the SDGs and then how we can do free trades with the US and Europe. Well, you got to take care of it's like a building without a foundation. It doesn't stand. This is where my concerns are, how we can make sure we have a strong foundation first, because we're like 50 years behind. But we cannot skip that foundation and start building floors when we don't have a foundation. And all of these things, from energy to education, agriculture, those are the 3 points I believe we need to focus on before we talk about anything. And agriculture is tied into health, because what you eat is who you become.
The news I'm bringing to you today is that billions of people across the world today are living in the dark. We'll never know what are the benefits of energy. In my continent, in Africa, 630 million people are living in the dark. Very recently, I was inaugurating a village in Mali, Kai, far down with my partner, Akon. And an old man got up and cried and told me, you know, because of your solar lights that you brought here, my children are able now at night to go outside under the light and study. That tells me right away that without lights, there is no education. Without energy, you have no education. I went through it. I remember my grandfather used to wake me up early in the morning because that night before, he didn't have a quarter to buy a candle for me to be able to just do my homework. And very recently, we were in Benin with the Prime Minister, drove 4 hours away past Cotonou, Akon and I. And when we went to inaugurate, a lady got up and told us, I'm selling mangoes and fruits to support my family. I'm selling mangoes and fruits to send my children to school. Because of your lights, I can sell at night now till 9 in the evening. Before we got there, at 6 o'clock when the sun goes down, the economy stops. So when there's no energy, there's no economy.
And Nkrumah was dreaming about the unification of Africa. When Patrice Lumumba was talking about a change in control of our economic models in the continent. When Sékou Touré and Senghor finished school in Europe and go back to liberate our countries in Africa, such as Senegal, my home country. I knew they would not finish the work. And I knew they knew the sacrifices they were making were not for them. It was for another generation to come. It was for their children and their grandchildren. Their grandchildren is here. I'm here. We're here. And I'm here to tell you that this generation will transform the continent. We know the challenges. We've traveled the world. We've seen it. We've traveled the world, we understood the world. We've traveled the world, we know how nations are built. And we are looking for partners like you who will come to our continent in a win-win situation. But a new leadership, a new wave of change is flooding on the skies of the continent. And it will become the best of the best, and nothing but the best. This is why Akon and I are sacrificing to make sure we bring energy in the continent. We are concerned, but we're optimistic because the challenge is high, but we really take on the challenges. And as our founding fathers, we know if we don't finish to see what we're working for. The young people that I am training through Give One Project, the young people that Tony Elemelu is training through the Tony Elemelu Foundation, the young people we're training through the Solar Academy, Akon and I Solar Academy, and extra, and extra, and extra. I am pretty sure they will take on the fight and they will change the continent.
A lot of people in the diaspora are afraid to go back home. And I have a hard time to understand that. This is our home. This is where we belong. How can we be afraid to come home? When we left home, most of us left with a drive to change something at home. You remember that night you took the plane to leave? Each one of you, I want you 1 second to just take that in your picture. The night you left home, leaving your home country to come here. That night, there was a certain drive in you that you wanted to change so much back home. You didn't leave just to leave. But so many of us, once we come here, we get comfortable, things go well, we start getting a bank account, money coming in, good education, met a good sister or brother, and then got married. And then next thing you know, oh, Africa, man, ain't never going to change the politicians. This is the truth.
Yeah, true.
So how do you expect things to change? Because the cream of our countries is you. You are the blessed ones. You are in one of the top universities in the world. You're one of the best countries in the world. You got one of the greatest skills in the world. And anything you're doing here, healthcare, education, IT, whatever you do, whatever your field is, Africa needs that today. It's the only country you can come in 5 years, if you focus on something great, you can become a billionaire. Easy. If Europeans can come in a country that they don't even speak our language, and Chinese, and be so successful, why are we afraid to do it in our own home? Why? So until we come, if you want the political spectrum to change, come run for office. Because if you don't do it, don't blame the ones who are corrupt and running for office.
Vous pouvez rester ici et réussir. Mais moi, je suis mal placé pour vous dire qu'il faut rester ici si vous pouvez voyager. J'ai pris ma chance. Et pourquoi pas? Il n'y a rien de mal à ça. Si vous avez une opportunité pour voyager à l'extérieur, vous apprenez et vous retournez ça à votre pays. Voyager, c'est s'armer, c'est apprendre. C'est comprendre l'autre et le monde. Ce n'est pas synonyme de réussite. Attention. Je connais beaucoup de Sénégalais ou d'Africains qui sont aujourd'hui aux États-Unis, ou dans les autres pays, ou en France, qui ne vont jamais retourner au pays. Pas parce qu'ils ne peuvent pas retourner, parce qu'ils ne réussissent pas là-bas et ils ont la honte de retourner chez eux. Ils préfèrent vivre dans des misères ou des difficultés là-bas que de retourner chez eux. J'explique ça dans le livre. Mais je connais aussi des Sénégalais qui sont là-bas, qui font partie des meilleurs professeurs on all of the universities in the United States, jusqu'à Harvard. Vous avez un gars qui s'appelle professeur Ousmane Khan, un petit-fils de Cheikh Ibrahim qui est enseignant là-bas. Vous avez des gens partout dans les hôpitaux comme des professeurs, comme des médecins, dans tous les domaines, vous avez les Sénégalais. Alors, ici dans le pays, vous connaissez un gars qui s'appelle Babacar Ngom de Sedima? Vous connaissez un gars qui s'appelle Serigne Mboup, il est devenu milliardaire ici. Il y a des Cheikh Amar. Et ces noms, ils font partie des poumons de notre économie au Sénégal. Ils n'ont pas quitté le pays et certains, ou la majeure partie, n'ont même pas fait l'université comme vous. Il y a des exemples sur ce côté et il y a des exemples sur l'autre côté. Moi, je ne vous demande pas d'emprunter mon chemin. Humbly, je vous demande de trouver vous-même votre propre chemin et d'avoir le courage de le suivre. Parce que chacun de vous est spécial. Certains ont peur de développer ça. Et certains d'autres, ils l'ont compris et ils travaillent pour réaliser le rêve. Et vont étonner le monde. On va leur prendre comme des génies. Et en réalité, ce ne sont pas des génies. Ils ont juste creusé plus loin. De trouver ce qu'ils ont et le développer. Donc on a besoin des Sénégalais à l'extérieur et des Sénégalais à l'intérieur. Et ensemble, on va faire le pays. Never forget where you come from. Never forget where you come from. Because many of us go overseas, we're successful, we forget home. I never forget where I come from. I'm Salum from Kaulak, and I went to school right here in Dakar. So when Allah bless me, I bring it home. Today, I traveled all across the world, but I always come home. This costs me a lot of money here. But it's not, I don't do it for nothing. I need nothing from none of y'all. But one thing, for you to be able to be successful, so you can help home. So we can change not only Senegal, but Africa. This is my duty for my country because Senegal paid for my school. From elementary school to baccalaureate. It was free. Those teachers, somebody paid for it. I don't know who it was. The Senegalese people who are working, paying taxes, the government of Senegal gathered that money and paid for me to be educated. The same for you. Senegal prepared me. My home country is not perfect. Like every country, even the United States is not perfect. So whatever I have in the world, I take care of home first. So when you become successful, because you're beginning, and you will be big, inshallah. And you will travel the world. And you will do big things across the world. But never forget that you're from Senegal. And home needs you. And home will not be done, will not be changed, unless its children want it to be changed.